Welcome to the Cleve Loveland and The Loan Arranger Show, where we bring you your real estate and mortgage news every Saturday, let you know what's going on in the real estate market, where are the interest rates at, how to get a house ready to sell. If you're a buyer putting in and getting beat out by multiple offers, we can give you some tips on how to get your first home to make it to the top of the pile of all those offers in this crazy housing market. Right now, things are moving very quickly. Most homes have multiple offers, but I believe it or not, I get some emails from people saying they're not selling. And I've got some good examples of that going on out there. Big news this week that I saw coming up across all the publications was that home prices have jumped about 15, anywhere, depending on what index they're looking at. Home prices have jumped anywhere from 15 to 20%, depending on your market, depending on your price range. But they are up because of demand. And then we got old Sleepy Joe throwing us in some inflation there on top of that.
So well, it's funny, Cleve, you say that it's up between 15 and 20%, right? Yep. Now, what have you and I been preaching to our listeners for the last 5 years?
No rich renters.
There's no rich renters. Buy now. Yeah. Interest rates are great. Yep. Houses are going to continue to rise. But what have we been hearing from some naysayers for the last 5 years? Well, it's going to crash. It will crash one day. I don't know when that is. Yeah. I don't see it. You know, I was talking to the ex-president of NAR on the weekend, and he's very involved in NAR, of Aura, very involved in NAR, travels all over the United States with different real estate conventions. And he was telling me that if we continue to build at the pace we're building right now, which builders are going as fast as they can, right?
Yep. And actually probably throttled back some because of the supply industry.
Well, they've only throttled back some because they can't get the supplies. Yeah. It's not because they want to build more. But if they continue to go at the pace they're going, we can't even catch up in 9 years. In 9 years, there's still too much demand for that.
I don't know how that math cooks out because it will. I don't see us. Definitely, we're not in a bubble. That's the big problem I think people have. But the swings in the market and as people, a lot of the sellers right now coming to market, people that go on the market, they weren't thinking about selling 2 years ago, but because the prices are up. So that's going to...
Well, they got to move somewhere too.
I think, and they got to move somewhere, and it's helping, and that's what kind of what's lifting the prices is the person that just made their house they bought for $250 5 years ago is now worth $335, and they're like, wow, I can go get something for $450. Not that they were even thinking about that. So I think that supply problem will fix itself. The builders aren't the ones that are going to bring us out of this. They're going to help. They are the ones that, however, when we talk about a bubble, the builders are the one that broke the markets back in 2007, delivering all the homes that everybody had ordered, with bad mortgages and one person buying 5 homes thinking he's going to flip them and get rich. That's not happening. No. Not at all. Not at all. And also, homes are, like, if you look at the money, the interest rates are 3% now, in the threes. Mm-hmm. And in the bubble, they were 6 and 7. So it's less expensive. You also got a lot of people over the past 5 years, I think, that have refinanced and probably shortened the terms on their mortgages.
Shortened the terms or at least lowered their payments.
Yeah, and it's lower payments. So there's more money around the household. And wages are rising, albeit slowly. Now, inflation is going to be, that's the tough part is inflation. But, if you want to know how to save money and what to do to get your credit straight, this is the show to be listening to.
Well, and also, we're talking about inflation. You can't help the fact that houses have to go up in price because the cost of material are going up in price. I had mentioned on the show back a few weeks ago that there were several national builders here locally that had raised their prices by $35,000 in one shot. Do you think they're doing that because of the supply and they want to make more profit? No, they couldn't figure out how to make a profit because the number was moving around so much. So I think that it's a great time to buy. Interest rates are still unbelievable. You can still get 15 years in the high 2s with good credit. You can still get 30-year in the mid to low 3s with good credit. The products are there for you. The opportunity is there. If you don't think that it's the right time to buy, I want to put one thing in perspective for you. Just think about this. I did the math on a $300,000 house.
Yep.
And I used a rate of 3.625, which would even be a little higher than somebody that's got good credit, right? But I went and I used that rate. And I considered a house on an FHA loan for 3.5% down. If your rate went up on the same house by 1% from 3.625 to 4.625, your payment went up about $150 to $175 a month.
Yep.
Now, then I factored in what would happen if the rate didn't go up, but the house went up $50,000.
Yeah.
There was another $150 to $175 a month. So now, if it goes up by 50 and the rates go up by 1%,
$300,
you're
$350.
free.
Yeah.
I worked it out with taxes, insurance, between $300 and $500 a month more for the same house that you can buy.
The one thing
today.
about, buying a home, owning a home, it's one of the first steps of building your own personal wealth, and you own it. And it's funny, if Bruce can get you the mortgage, you should buy. Because if you can't get the mortgage, there's something to be fixed. So don't be scared. If you actually qualify, you need to pull the trigger. I've got some. There's one person I think of. I think the guy, he's got to be 40. I think he's still living in his parents' basement.
Oh, good Lord.
Literally, because he lost a house to a short sale in 2008. And then I was talking to him in 2012 saying, you need to buy. I said, now's a good time. Rates are better. The prices have stabilized. That glut in the economy is gone.
But he couldn't get over the bad experience?
He's still in mom's
That's
and dad's
like
basement.
getting dumped by your girlfriend and never dating again.
It is. It's like failure to launch.
Right. So listen, if you have any questions for Cleve, he can be reached at 407-352-8118. That's 407-352-8118, or you can go to cleveloveland.com. If you have any questions for the loan arranger, Bruce Woodburn, I've been in the business for 32 years, and I would be honored to help you. You can reach me on my personal line at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144, or visit my website. You can easily apply online at webringyouhome.com. That's webringyouhome.com. You can check out all the classes that I hold. I'm holding a great class this month for real estate agents on all the changes in the mortgage industry and things that you need to be aware of. That's going to be Thursday, July 15th at 10 a.m. And then I'm having a construction perm class on the 28th at 6 p.m. So all those classes are available for consumers that are interested in maybe building your own home or becoming better educated. You can also check Cleve and I out on our YouTube channel. You can check us out on Spotify podcast. All of this is videoed. It's on our Spotify channel. It's on our iHeartRadio channel. All available for you to see if you can't make the show on Saturdays when we air. Or you can check out my show on Sundays at 11 a.m. And my friend Cleve Loveland, you may have heard of him before, will be my guest this Sunday to bring in all the things that you need to know on the real estate market.
Bruce, I've got an article here out of Wall Street Journal. I wanted to ask you about this. This is just, I talk about this all the time. It's just an article talking about how non-bank lenders dominate the mortgage market.
That would be me.
And like almost 70% of all mortgages are done by companies like CrossCountry because and what infuriates me is when somebody tells me, like, I won't take an offer from a monster mega bank, a pre-qual letter from them, unless I can talk to the actual personal wealth manager where I know they'll get the mortgage done. Main thing is lack of communication, and they don't close it on time. And so talk about that for a second.
Well, it's all about the level of service that you get. And I think that the issue with the banks is that their commercials portray them as being your neighborhood friend. But I'm going to tell you something. I've been in the banking industry all my life. This is not your neighborhood friend. So why do realtors, do you ever see a big realtor ever refer their client, say, hey, I want you to get pre-qualified by this bank or credit union? Almost never. Why? Because you get better service than you're going to get from a bank when you go to a direct lender. Now, that's not a mortgage broker.
Yeah.
That's a direct lender like the Loan Arranger, CrossCountry Mortgage. And that's why. Because your banker, try to reach your banker on Friday at 3:30. Try to get a hold of them for
there's multiple offers for an updated pre-qual letter.
Give me an updated pre-approval letter on Saturday or Sunday. It just doesn't happen. So the lender is there to service the realtor, who's there to service the client. We all come together, and that's how we help clients become the winning offer and offer that level of service. It's just like Saladgate. Okay, it's all about customer service. I don't know how it got Saladgate, but anyways, it's about customer service. provide a level of customer service as a real estate agent, as a lender, as whatever sort of business you're in. And that's why banks don't get the bulk of the business. They could buy the market if they wanted to, but they don't have the service capability, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah. So another thing here I saw, Bruce, I want to talk about real quick. I've got an article here about how some of the big Wall Street firms and the hedge funds out there and the investors, these are companies that bought up single-family homes. They kind of rescued us from the glut of 2010, all the foreclosures and all the short sales. They started buying them up to manage them as rental properties. Well, here's something about another big Wall Street firm getting back into that. They had gotten out of it, and they're getting back into real estate to buy and hold single-family homes. They're trying to buy more of them, and these are the people. This is Wall Street, and Wall Street is the one saying, don't list your home. We'll give you an offer right now. It's so simple. And I guarantee you I can get you usually 20% more than any of those offers. From open pad, offer door, whatever it is, no matter who it is, they only make money if they buy you at a very, very, very big discount. And why do that? And they say
they're very convincing commercials too.
It's a lot of marketing.
People fall for it. Do you think somebody's going to offer you cash for your home and no showing? They're trying to dehorse you, right? They want you
and I don't have the money to put my name on a NASCAR stadium. I don't. And it's because I work for my clients, and those companies, they've got billboards, they've got radio, TV ads, all those things. What do you think pays for that?
Yeah.
It's not because they gave you top dollar for your home.
No, it is not.
I get the most money for houses because I expose it to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 realtors of the 20,000 realtors or 18,000 realtors out there that want to come look at your house. It's exposed to them. And that in this market, that's what's really important. And I can gauge, because of my 30 years experience and knowing what to do with multiple offers, I can gauge the interest and what's the best price for you based on the offers in front of me. If I get 7 offers at list price and only one offer went 20,000 over list price, you should take that offer. Yeah. Everybody else is kind of telling you this, you hit the market right. Now, if you come on, and you get 30 offers and 29 of them are over list price, it might be listed a little low, but then you got to look at, who's totally fast-tracked, who's totally pre-approved, who's going to waive the appraisal clause because they have extra money to put down.
Well, those things are important, but I want to kind of get back on track with your point here. If somebody is offering you to pay you cash for the property and not put it on the market, you have to look at whose best interest is that? Is it really going to be in your best interest? Because here's the thing, your home is probably going to make you more money than any other investment you have. Like, you should contribute to your 401k. You should put money in the stock market. You have to have a balanced retirement fund, but your real estate can make you the most money. Why are you going to give that a haircut because you want to shave off 10, 15, even 30 days off of a closing and have to go through a home inspection? Would you go through a home inspection for $30,000? Would you take a family that wants to buy the home and make $30,000? Come on, $30,000 takes a lot to make these days. Why would you give that up so easily because you're convinced by one of these commercials? Listen, that's what we're all about here on Cleve Loveland and the Loan Arranger radio show. You can call Cleve directly at 407-352-8118. That's 407-352-8118, or visit his website at cleveloveland.com. If you have questions or you'd like to talk to the Loan Arranger, I've been in the business for a long time now, and I'm more than happy to help each and every one of you. My direct line is 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144, or visit my website at webringyouhome.com. That's webringyouhome.com. A lot of stuff going on in the market, and we do have ways we can help you become the winning offer on that. What else are you looking at? You love reading all these articles.
This is how we give people their real estate news. Their real estate news, no fake news here. Just want to talk about, how much time we got? A minute?
We've got about 30 seconds.
Okay, well, when we come back, I want to go into, I got a couple listings. I want to talk to you why you should not cut corners, and also about where prices have gone up the most in town.
And I'll talk to you about how to save money as a medical professional, first responder, or educator. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of Cleve Loveland and the Loan Arranger radio show.
And we are back on the Cleve Loveland, the Loan Arranger show. And as I bring you every week, if they're not under contract, I'll bring you some listings and talk about a little bit about what's for sale around town, anywhere within the sound of my voice. I can help you anywhere within an hour of Orlando. I go all the way up to the Ocala Forest, like this house here, which is basically it's a huge 3,000 square foot garage with 2 apartments. It is a semi-completed home. Needs about $200,000 to complete it, but this is on 10 acres. The house is 5,000 square feet.
Wow, that's a lot of square feet.
It is, yes, and it's just a massive, and it's on 10 beautiful acres, all high and dry. $420,000 for that, and this was one of those things we talked about. Monster Mega Bank fumbled the loan. And I told the buyers we would not wait 60 days for them to get their act together when that's what they asked for. Yeah. So I got that one back on the market. If that buyer actually finds a reason to, gets good financing, we can put them back into contract. But otherwise, we're not going to wait. I got an office building right on Edgewater Drive for $475,000. This is actually one of the few places I've seen an older property right on Edgewater Drive by Bishop Moore. But it's a live workspace, and the front office is renovated nicely.
I like that spot. I know that building. I might take a look at that.
It's a very unique. I don't see live workspaces anymore. There's very few of them, and there are some built in Baldwin Park, and there's some downtown.
You can use it all for office.
It could all be office, but the front's a 2,000 square foot office. The back is about a 1,100 square foot apartment. You've got a 2-car carport, garage, plenty of parking.
That's zoned what? Office professional?
It's zoned office.
Professional.
Professional and living quarters, but it's got a little
mixed use
connotation, like a mixed use there. But $475,000 for that one, and then I've got 2 townhomes. I got a townhome coming on the east side of town. Now, when this show airs, you will need to call me on this immediately because this house will probably be under contract very quickly. It's a Toll Brothers, very very custom townhome in Cypress Village. This is on Dean Road in Lake Underhill. $275,000 for this. It will be gone in a heartbeat. We will probably have 20 offers on that. It's going to probably go around $300,000.
Well, you're hearing about it live now.
So you can call 407-352-8118. I'd be happy to help you. And then I want to talk about some of the things. When I always see, Bruce, you and I are in the transaction to avoid problems, to handle problems, to make sure people don't cut corners and do something wrong. Like always do your building inspection. Always do your septic inspection. If they say, always do your termite inspection. Here's somebody that didn't do their title check. Didn't do the title insurance check. They wanted to save on title insurance. It was a cash deal, and literally lost half their property because what they thought they were buying was not what they were buying. This was supposedly a handshake deal. And then also I got another example here. A Florida town had the wrong address on its water tower. They sold their water tower to somebody because the address was wrong.
I'd love to own my own water tower.
Well, the guy was like, okay, we'll buy it back from me. He wasn't like in this. And they had title insurance on this transaction, but don't cut corners.
You can't make this stuff up.
You can't. I see different things in real estate, and I see new stuff every week, and we learn how to fix it, how to get around it, how to overcome it, how to get the ruling governing body what they need to know to get the loan done or get the transaction closed. So it just amazes me at everything going on, Bruce.
That's pretty cool. Now, listen, I promised that I was going to share with you how you could save money when you're looking at buying a home or refinancing a home with the loan arranger at CrossCountry Mortgage. But I want to bring to your attention something that will help you if you are in law enforcement, if you're a first responder, or if you're an educator. There are no national or state programs that fund any type of assistance for you. It's unfortunate. There used to be years ago. There are not right now. So I created an awesome program to help you if you are in law enforcement, first responder, or an educator, healthcare worker. It works for you. It's called Home Ownership Made Easy. You can save $2,168 toward your closing costs. It's not a gimmick. There's not something where, companies add to something and then subtract from it. No. It's the real deal, you guys. Now, if you're looking to buy a home, and you will allow me to connect you with the real estate agent that has been vetted through my home program, like Cleve and his team, Nanette and Mike, you can save even more money. And the bigger the house, the more the savings. So I want you to call me at 407-250-9144. If that is your occupation at all for any of you, 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com or Cleve Loveland at 407-352-8118. That's 352-8118.
And we are back on the nation's longest running real estate show. I'm going to make that claim. The nation's longest running real estate show. If anybody else knows of one longer, call me at 407-352-8118. Give you all your real estate news. But despite my immense radio talent. They still do not pay me, and I have to work Monday through Sunday as a realtor out there selling houses. So just bringing you all of your real estate news, what's going on with inventory, how do we get something ready to sell, and that's a big part of it, Bruce. This is where I pride myself on making sellers an extra 4 or 5% in the property. I've got a 50-point checklist to get the house ready. I know what shows well. I know when they need to get 5 pods. I know in store stuff. I know when they need to paint something. I know when they don't need to paint something. I know where to focus. Sometimes they're spending $20,000 on what they thought they need to do a bathroom remodel. I'm like, no. Let's spend $5,000 on the front yard. And I know how to focus that money to get you top dollar. And then really the important part usually for the market we have nowadays is not getting it sold. It's where are you going?
Right.
And so I want people to get with you and see if they can buy without selling.
Absolutely.
And do that. And then possibly, I can get them a lease back. We can lay that out up front. I can get them a lease back in the property for up to 60 days.
I can't stress how important that is. I'm going to tell you a quick story that happened to me just yesterday. So I had a realtor call me and said, Bruce, I got a client. They went to their own credit union, which they worked for a company, big grocery store company that happens to have their own credit union, and gave them a pre-approval letter that got them the contract on the house they wanted to buy. But did the pre-approval letter say that it was contingent upon the sale of their current home first? No. Were they really contingent upon the sale
Yes.
of their current home first? Yes.
That's a horrible loan rep that didn't look into everything.
Not only a horrible loan rep, but even the realtor knew it. They knew it, but they said they wouldn't have gotten the contract if they would have put it in the letter. Malpractice. Okay. I don't believe that should ever happen. I won't do that for you. I will not do that. I will not lie. My reputation is too important. And you could lose your escrow deposit if you don't perform on that contract. So now I'm trying to do everything I can to pick up the pieces, put it back together, and do it the right way so they can close and still buy their home.
You got to be careful on that, because I had an agent do that to me on one of my listings and didn't tell me, and then 2 weeks later tries to tell me, oh, well, we can't close for another 2 weeks. And I'm like, why? Well, they've got a home to sell. I'm like, wait a minute. I asked you that up front. So I forced them out of the contract basically and said, we're not closing with you. And not only did he not tell me, the house wasn't even listed. He didn't list it until after he had the contract. And that's this is the problem. We've got 18,000 realtors in Central Florida, Bruce. Thanks to COVID, we got a 20% surge in the number of realtors. You know how many have, like, let's say more than 25 years experience? Less than 20%.
I don't care how many years you have experience. Ethics, you don't need to be trained for years.
But here's the problem. Most real estate brokerages are virtual. And there might be some webinars on how to be a good realtor and what to do and what not to do. They don't watch them.
These are legal contracts. Yep. You can't just tell people something that you think is going to get you the contract. It's absurd. Don't fall for that. Hire somebody that's truly a professional, is going to get you to the closing table smoothly and on time. You can hire me. I'm applying for the job. I'm the loan arranger. Check out my stats on the Google. Check out my stats on the Zillow. You can see that I've got very, very high rankings, and I hold myself to a higher standard for you so that you can rely and trust somebody's going to take really good care of you. That's my job. I promise you. If you come to me or you refer your friends and family to me, I'm going to take really good care of them. You can call me on my direct line, 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144. Or go to my website, do an online application, webringyouhome.com. You got family members that don't qualify right now because of credit? I'll help them. I'll put them in a credit repair program. I'll help anybody who wants to become a homeowner, because there is
no rich renters.
No such thing as a rich renter.
Speaking of which, investors out there, I manage about 80 homes in my company, and I own some of my own rentals. That's our retirement plan that we talk about, our leapfrog system that we teach monthly. Yep. And rental prices hit the highest level in 2 years, just like sales prices are going up. Rents are rising too. So, and this is the biggest problem.
Do you have any numbers on?
I don't. This is nationwide. Well, nationwide median rent is $1,500.
I'd be curious to know what that is.
Central
locally.
Florida, it's probably Central Florida is probably about the same, $1,500. This was nationwide. But here's the important thing: they are investments. The rents should go up every year, market permitting. If the market's horrible, when it's horrible, you might go down. I never go backwards on rent. I haven't gone backwards since 2010. But in slow periods, what you do is you say, all right, we're going to cut the lawn for you. This, monthly lawn service included. We're going to do an 18-month lease because things are bad. But right now, people will bring me rentals. They want to sell them because they're friends with the tenant who's been there 7 years and hasn't moved because the rent's still $1,000 a month and it should be $1,900 or $2,000. I don't even like to do the calculations on, okay, they've been there 5 years. That's 60 months times the $800 a month or $600 a month average. And what if you had invested that money? It just drives me insane because it's not, that really, really hurts your performance. And that's why people say, I want out.
Well, and they ruined the best investment that they could have.
Yeah.
You wouldn't stand for your financial advisor on your 401k or your stocks going, yeah, I know you really hadn't been paying attention. So you know what, you're okay.
Stock market's going up and your portfolio is going down.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And so, but this is what you got to watch. The other problem I see people with rentals have is they defer the maintenance. You've got to keep them looking good. The tenants appreciate it. You'll rent for more. And then you also won't have a $15,000 problem when you go to sell because the house needs a full paint job and full flooring and or countertops and there's holes in the wall, things like that. You keep them looking great. It's like the broken windows policy the police use. Fix everything as fast as you can. Don't let anything slip by. You will make more on the house. You
Absolutely.
will get more when
and
you
it's
sell
your
it.
responsibility as a landlord too.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
Go ahead now, because I got some really cool news. So oftentimes we share the real news. So there's no fake news here. So we share things that maybe are negative or declining in our industry, or things that are positive. But I've got some really positive things for all you folks out there. So if you were seeking to get an FHA loan, and up until now, if you had any student loans, the lender had to count 1% of the balance of your student loans as a payment. So if you had $100,000 in student loans, that was $1,000 a month. If you had $50,000, it was $500 a month. And it really hurt a lot of people that needed FHA because they only wanted to put 3.5% down. Maybe their credit wasn't really, really good. It was average at best, and FHA was a suitable loan, but they couldn't qualify because their debt ratio was too high because of student loans. So HUD has come up with a brand new rule. They're changing that guideline, and now we only have to use 0.5%. So if you got $50,000 in student loans, it's only a $250 payment, not a $500 payment. Now, FHA does not recognize IBRs, income-based repayment programs, where conventional loans will. If you have an income-based repayment program for a student loan, they'll recognize that, and they will adjust your payments, and we can use that new payment. Now, there's another great gift that we got from Fannie Mae, and that is that on a conventional loan, you could not be in an IRS repayment program. It was not allowable. You couldn't go into a new repayment program. You could have an old one, but you couldn't go into a new one and qualify for a mortgage. That has changed. You're now eligible for a legitimate IRS repayment program. Now, I don't advise people going into repayment programs. I advise you pay your doggone taxes and move on. And I see all these people that are 1099 and self-employed, and you got all these repayment programs. It's not good, you guys. You can't amass wealth when you have a lot of debt. And it's debt no matter what. Pay your taxes. You know what? Work hard, pay your taxes, be a good citizen. Don't get arrested. Don't go to jail. Pay your taxes. Do the right thing. It's not that complicated, right? And listen, my wife has to do a lot to keep me in that loop too. I got to really kind of stay within the tracks on this, but so do you. We all do. Be a good citizen. Do the right thing. Provide great service. Okay, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and it's just this is where we really appreciate you tuning in to Cleve Loveland The Loan Arranger Show to get all of this information you wouldn't get from anybody else.
How would somebody reach you if they wanted to call you?
407-352-8118 and or cleveloveland.com. We will get back to you. I will be the realtor coming out to your house to take a look at your home. And whenever you call into my office, you'll get a live receptionist. You don't have to press 1 for English. It's just, we are just the epitome of good service is what we try to provide.
Well, that's pretty impressive. I will tell you that Cleve's team is second to none when it comes to quality real estate agent and the services they provide, the ethics that they have, and they work so hard. His team's always out on the weekends working. I mean, I don't even know if you guys ever get a day off. So
sneak them in.
They sneak them in, right? If you have questions for Bruce Woodburn, I'm the loan arranger. I've been in the mortgage business for 32 years. Check me out on my reviews. I promise you, you'll get amazing service and a great rate. What more could you ask for? You get a great rate and you get great service. 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144. Or you can easily apply online. I got the easiest website for online application. It's secure. It'll send you a checklist. You can download your documents securely so they're not going through the interweb and they're safe. That's just go to WeBringYouHome.com. Make it easy on yourself. Guys, make it easy on yourself. If you're a real estate agent and you're usually using one of these hooligans that are just going to tell your clients what they want to hear and not close on time and ask for extensions right and left, then that's fine. That's the quality of business that you're going to get. You want a great lender that's going to be there for you, then you call me. I'll make sure you get the best available when it comes to the mortgage services.
All right. Got some numbers here, Bruce, I want to talk about. Believe it or not, in this market, inventory is low. It's less than 3,000 homes. I'm looking to see the next show we do in a week. I should have the numbers for June, and I'm interested to see because inventory kind of bottomed out the last 3 months. I want to see it. Hopefully it would climb a little bit, would show a little bit of easing pressure. We don't want to be overheated for too long. But believe it or not, in this market, out of the 3,000 listings out there, Bruce, there was 600 people that just decided to take their home off the market.
Why do you think they would do that?
Well, I just took one. I actually took one of these listings. And when I went to see it, the house showed beautifully, but the owner didn't know that the agent had it in as appointment only. She's like, I've got a lockbox. Why would they do that? I'm like, well, they make it harder to show thinking they're going to sell it themselves.
It also trying to double dip the deal.
It also was, they figured out the price. They didn't do a cost basis approach of like, oh, that house sold for this and they've got a 2-car garage. I've got a 3-car garage. Let's add 5,000. They did $1 per square foot, which only works if you're selling the exact same size home. And a small unit.
It doesn't even always work.
Yeah. And then a small unit in this neighborhood sold. So they said, oh, this house is huge. Let's just do that. The price was actually about 10% above the market. Well, the owner thinks I'm walking on water because we just adjusted the price where I thought she should be. It'll be a record price for the neighborhood. She was very happy with it. But literally, I had multiple offers on it in 4 days. And it's just all about the experience. And the other thing, too, that just drove her nuts is she was listed for about 6 weeks with another person. She'd call them, not get a call back. She'd call again, not get a call back. And then 4 days later, she might get a cryptic text message. So don't put up with that. If you know somebody out there having trouble selling a home or getting ready to start selling their home, give me a call. I also go out and visit people a year before they're even ready, 2 years. And so give me a call at 407-352-8118.
Yep. Or visit him at cleveloveland.com. Great real estate agent. If you have questions or you'd like to apply for a mortgage or you have just questions about a mortgage or want to entertain refinancing, you can call me, the loan arranger, at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144, or visit my website at WeBringYouHome.com. That's WeBringYouHome.com. I can guarantee you there is not a better lender out there for you to choose. I can guarantee you that. The service level that you will get is going to be uncompromised. As a matter of fact, put me to the test. Put me to the test, all right? I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect, okay? But I will promise you I am committed to great service, return phone calls, and providing you a great rate in terms on your next mortgage. 407-250-9144 or WeBringYouHome.com. We'll be back in 5 minutes with the last segment of Cleve Loveland and the Loan Arranger Radio Show.
And we are back for the final segment of the Cleve Loveland The Loan Arranger Show. Thank you for tuning in to listen to the best real estate show in the nation.
And the longest lasting.
And the longest, yes, that's right. For over 30 years, I've been selling home. My family for 20 years before me in Central Florida. I've been on the radio for over 25 years in Central Florida every Saturday, bringing you your news. Come rain, snow, whatever we've got, I'm here. And then Monday through Sunday, the rest of the week, I'm out selling houses and helping people buy homes and managing their investment properties.
So, it's interesting. We're in such a different market than I've ever seen before in my 32 plus years, that we are seeing people offering overappraised value. There's multiple offers on every house that I see out there that's a resale. And it's stressful and challenging for clients. What are you doing right now to prepare your clients for a reality check when it comes to making an offer in today's market? As
the seller or the buyer?
As a buyer.
As a buyer, I'm telling them, if they're going to buy at 300, we need to be prepared. And I'm not seeing 10% over. I'm seeing about 3 to 5% on most of what I do. And
I guess it's really depending on where the house is listed, right?
Yeah, it depends on where you start. And this is why, as a buyer, I want to make sure my buyers, when they're out there, they have an education. So if they're buying at 350, or let's say they're buying at 300, they saw the ones that got away. They saw a couple when they started looking, and we looked at them. We looked at what they closed for, and I can show them, hey, remember that one you looked at for 280 and it closed for 290? Here's one at 300. What do we want to do? And you probably need to go 315. But the other things you can do, there are a bunch of other things you can do to make the offer more palatable for the seller too. Flexible closing date, of course. But I think one thing, I got an offer over the weekend. It had a 10% deposit, which is very large. Usually I see about one.
I like that.
I see 2 or 3. It also had a non-refundable seller fee. If they canceled the contract for any reason, the seller got like $3,000.
Wow.
No, and so if they're off the market,
it takes the not serious or the tire kicker.
It shows
out
they're
of the
serious. Now, the other thing you can do too, say I will go 10,000 over appraisal. I don't care what it appraises for. You've got them fast tracked for a 200 mortgage, so they've got more than 20% down, so there's still a loan there no matter what. That kind of thing really helps. Now, you can talk about fast tracking, but I want them to show how serious they are, not only with price but with terms. Deposit, I think, is a big one. Saying, hey, we're buying this home. If for some reason something happened, God forbid, you've got some money here that goes to you no matter what. Non-refundable to the seller.
You mean that they're prepared to go over price and they have the money to do it?
For example, a $20,000 deposit, and if we don't close $5,000, that money is yours.
Well, that tells the seller you're pretty serious.
Yep.
What I'm doing right now is I'm making sure the client's not pre-approved but fully approved for their financing. That there are no contingencies whatsoever. The only thing that we're waiting for is a contract, an appraisal, and the title work. That's it. The rest of the loan's fully approved. When you do that, I can offer the seller a guaranteed close time, and I'll always close in 30 days or less. Always close in 30 days or less if you have applied for a loan and been approved under my fast track program, meaning you're fully approved. Now, here's what I'm doing to help the buyers out there, Cleve. If you are fast track approved, I will guarantee the seller less than 30 days or less that I'll close that transaction, or I'll pay them $500 a day.
I don't know anybody else that does that.
I'll pay them $500 a day or up to $500 a day for every day I miss the closing.
Yep.
If you're fast track approved.
That shows you're serious. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, it'll move you right to the front of the line. And when I call the listing agent and make a personal phone call to the listing agent and make that guarantee, I'm going to tell you, it will get the seller's attention. That's how you win in this market. I am the loan arranger. You want that level of service, then you call me at 407-250-9144 or apply online at We Bring You Home. Ask for my fast track loan guaranteed close time. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Cleve, how do they get a hold of you?
407-352-8118, and you're on tomorrow morning at 11.
I am on tomorrow morning at 11, and I've got you as my guest. We'll see you then.
Thanks for tuning in.